How President Trump came to declare a national emergency to fund his border wall. President Trump knew that lawmakers were unlikely to ever give him the billions of dollars he wanted to build a wall on the southern border, so in early 2018, he gave aides a directive: find a way to do it without Congress. It was hardly an easy assignment. News released by The Washington Post on MSN. Border communities begin legal challenges to emergency declaration. El Paso. Within hours of President Trump signing a national emergency declaration on Friday, county authorities here filed a lawsuit to block his border wall gambit, beginning what probably will be a parade to courthouses across the country. As news released by The Washington Post on MSN. A recipe for disaster? Trump's border emergency drags the GOP into a risky fight ahead of 2020. President Trump's decision to unilaterally attempt to build his promised wall at the Mexico border is pulling his party into a tailspin of drama and unease, a move that could help his own 2020 re-election effort even at the expense of fellow. News released by The Washington Post on MSN. 3 takeaways from Colin Kaepernick-Eric Reid vs. NFL collusion settlement. It's very early to try and divine the deepest answers to that question. But let's start with 3 quick takeaways from the news. 1. The timing was no accident. First, it's not a surprise it happened on a Friday in mid-February and the same weekend as the news released by Sporting News on MSN. Analysis: 4 winners and 4 losers from the funding bill and emergency declaration. Trump's national emergency declaration starts a new fight, but it also resolves the spending battle of the past few months. The long-term effects of President Donald Trump's decision to declare a national emergency Friday, unlocking an additional. News released by VOX.com on MSN. Amazon invites Ocasio-Cortez to see for yourself after she slams dehumanizing working conditions. Amazon has fired back against Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's claims about the company's poor working conditions, inviting the firebrand congresswoman to tour the facilities and see it for yourself. Amazon's David Clark, senior vice president. News released by Fox News. Afghan Taliban likely to meet Saudi Crown Prince in Pakistan, sources. Peshawar, Pakistan, Reuters. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is likely to meet Afghan Taliban representatives during his visit to Pakistan starting on Sunday, Pakistani government sources said, part of efforts to broker an end to. News released by Reuters. Catholic Church defrocks U.S. Cardinal Kaepernick-Eric. Former American Cardinal Kaepernick-Eric, who resigned last summer after being accused of sexual misconduct, has been defrocked by the Vatican. The move to strip him of his Catholic clergy status is called being laicized by the Church, and means. News released by CBS News. NBA All-Star Game, Daytona 500, McCabe talks to 60 Minutes, 5 things to know this weekend. Authorities will resume their investigation into the deadly shooting in Aurora, Illinois, on Saturday after a gunman sprayed bullets into a massive warehouse, killing at least 5 people and injuring 6 police officers. The gunman, identified as Gary. News released by USA Today. Airports worried the A380 was too big. Turns out, that wasn't the problem. When Airbus SE rolled out plans in 2000 to build the world's biggest passenger jet, a 555-seat super jumbo, skeptics warned it would be too heavy, too tall, and too long for many airports. Officials at the world's biggest hub scrambled to. News released by The Wall Street Journal. On MSN. Bank lending for real economy key to boost China growth, central bank official. Shanghai, Reuters. China should encourage its banks to support smaller, private firms in the real economy, rather than forced lending or policies such as quantitative easing, a state newspaper quoted a central bank official as saying on Saturday. News released by Reuters. Nigeria postpones election just hours before polls due to open. An electoral officer in the Nigerian capital of Abuja stands on a pile of election materials amid reports some ballot papers went missing. Photograph, Stringer/Reuters. Nigeria's Electoral Commission has delayed the presidential election until February 23. News released by The Guardian. Tiger Woods continues twisted relationship with Riviera over 30 holes. Pacific Palisades, California. Tiger's bizarre relationship with Riviera continued Friday at the Genesis Open. There were moments of brilliance, plenty of ordinary shots, and just enough ill-timed mistakes to maintain an odd inability to conquer a design he enjoys. News released by Golf Week on MSN. Elliot Anderson provides stability in Auburn bullpen. The talk of Auburn's opening night was Davis Daniel, and rightfully so. He'd earned a spot in the starting rotation. More so, he'd earned the role of pitching on opening night. Discussing it on Wednesday, he brought up how that honor belonged to. News released by Apple. Watch Robin send to Robin immediately video, immediately. Robin's new video for Send to Robin Immediately, from her 2018 album Honey, released yesterday, February 15th. The video, directed by Max Vitali, a frequent collaborator and director of her Honey video, pairs the track's dreamy. News released by Dazed. Exclusive, Marvel, Scarlett Johansson tapped Ned Benson to rewrite Black Widow movie. Marvel has hired Ned Benson, the disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, to rewrite the script for the Black Widow standalone movie that will star Scarlett Johansson, Collider has exclusively learned. News released by Collider. The world's first smart oral sex toy aims to close the orgasm gender gap. This article was originally published on Sex Tech Guide, an independent publication that looks at the intersection between sex and technology in a non-explicit, as close to a safe for work. News released by TheNextWeb. OpenAI's GPT-2 algorithm is good in knitting fake news. Fake. Dangerous. Scary. Too good. When headlines swim with verdicts like those, then you suspect, correctly, that you're in the land of artificial intelligence, where someone has come up with yet another AI model. So, this is GPT-2, an algorithm and news released by TechXplore.